Hey, what's up, ladies and gents? Sean here with Blue Ridge Silverhound. I hope everyone's having a great day. Today, we have kind of a video that has been weighing heavily on my mind. This is one that I've wanted to get out for a while. And as you can see, it reads top 5 coins you need to obtain no matter what. And I think it doesn't really matter where you're at in collecting, whether you're a beginner, you're intermediate, you're well advanced. I think for the most part, these are unanimous picks of every U.S. coin type that you could possibly ever imagine, and these need to be added into your collection. And the good news is that most, if not all, of the coins on the list are very obtainable. I think at the high end, a few $100s and you're in. But every single one of these coins are incredibly popular today. Based off of recent comps and sales over the last 2 years, I've noticed a significant increase in the sold prices and realized prices thereof of each one of these coins on the list. Okay, that's equally important as we talk through the top 5 coins on this particular list. And most importantly, because collecting is all about the satisfaction, and you don't have to necessarily always see it as an investment or having to buy something out of necessity because some YouTuber told you so. These are just, no doubt about it, wildly popular. Everybody wants these. And this is not a list that 100% I'm saying you need to get because I like them. I'm saying you need to get these because everybody's buying them in all various different types of grade levels. All right. So with that being said, we're going to jump into this list, and hopefully you might be motivated to buy one, if not all, of the coins. And all you need is an example. You're going to find that the kind of the instant gratification, the overall satisfaction index of owning each of these coins on this list is off the charts. And the moment that you obtain your first example, if you've never bought any of these, you're just absolutely going to be floored with how you're going to feel about the ownership of one of these 5. So I'm really looking forward to talking about these with you. It shouldn't be too crazy long of a video, bar anything crazy like rambling on, which I've been known to do. And I don't need, a lot of people saying, oh, you ramble too much, because I do. All right. Before we jump into the actual list, just wanted to let you guys know I saw on the platform Whatnot. And we do shows every single Friday. So if you're looking for a reliable dealer on this platform, Whatnot has been one of the fastest growing live social media auction platforms today. Look no further. There's a QR code. Go ahead and scan it in. You join today. I will give you $15 off your first item. It doesn't matter if it's a coin, silver bullion, paper money, comic books, new pair of tennis shoes, it doesn't matter. Whatever is sold on this platform, you will save $15 off so long as you sign under me. But if you wanted to check out some of my shows, I'm usually on every Friday night, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, and we showcase some really nice type coins, even some of the top 5 that you're going to see here on this list. So I really look forward to seeing you guys on this platform. If not for nothing, just come by and say hi. And we talk about the hobby very much so on every single live event. So there is that as well. All right, so these are going to be in no specific order. So top 5. I would say, one of the more popular issues here within, I would say, the last 10 years, that's gaining all sorts of traction, and for its relatively ease and affordability of ownership of these coins, it's going to be the 1942 to 1945 Jefferson nickels. And not just any Jefferson nickels. This was the 5-year stretch where the mint had rationed off more of the nickel composition for the war effort. So in its place, they've added silver and manganese into the mix, which makes these an incredibly unique little short set series that I think everyone needs to be a part of. Now, the coin that you see here is a 1943p, something that you'll notice that's different than any other Jefferson nickel outside of 1942 to 1945 is the placement of the mint mark. And you're going to find that on the war nickel dates from 42 to 45, they actually put a physical P mint mark for these being minted at the Philadelphia Mint. There are also Denver and San Francisco mint marks, respectively, for the coins that were produced at those particular locations as well. And they're all going to be located on the reverse right above the dome of Monticello. And that's what makes this pretty cool, is that it's different. You know, you flip the coin over and you'd think you'd find the mint mark to the right of the building where it normally is during this time frame. But instead, you see it high atop the dome of the building there. It's really cool. And what also makes these incredible is just the overall craftsmanship and quality that was put into this particular series during this stretch. The coins are generally very well struck. They have above average luster. Some of them are just quite off the charts. And because they're silver, guess what? You could find some that are toned too, wildly as a matter of fact. How about this 1945p that you see here? This is a stunner. And because silver tends to be more of a composition that is prone to toning, you are going to have some pretty nice pieces that come out of albums after they've been sitting in there for a few decades. It really depends on where these things were stored at, and the results in the color will certainly show through. And believe it or not, last time I checked, tone coins are incredibly popular today. People pay just massive amounts of premiums to obtain some of the more wildly vibrant colors. This one right here is no exception. The series itself, you could collect these, in any which condition. If you're looking to save money and you just want one of each date. The coins do circulate into like a bluish gunmetal color after lots of circulation wear, so there is that. They tend to stick out a lot more than traditional nickel composition coins outside of 42 to 45. But overall, every time I'm able to source and find nice mid-state examples of every single date of these, I just feel just incredibly lucky and just really happy to have some of these in my collection. For raw examples, not including like toning or varieties or anything like that, expect to pay right around $10 to $25 for nice mid-state examples. No expectation on like grade or quality or strike. Full steps, are very important to this series, and that's how some collectors like it, is with that hammered strike, but it's not necessarily the most important thing out of the series. And also graded coins as well. You could get examples that are in the mid-state 66, 67 region for right around $100. All right, so we have two coins here that have sold recently within the last, I'd say, 30 days for between $80 and $100. Okay, the coin on the right, a 43S in 66 with full steps, and then the coin on the left in an older NGC soap bar holder grades out at mid-state 67, but it does not have full steps. You could kind of go either way here, collect them in graded holders. 66 full steps and 67 without full steps. These are incredibly safe grades to collect into because they have so much liquidity to them. They're not going to be completely worthless. You're not going to have coins that are only worth 10, 15 bucks. The graded ones, if you choose carefully, you could pick the right ones at the right price. And again, the satisfaction of just the ownership of these coins because of what they meant during this time in history is what's really awesome about them. And then also, you don't have to pick up graded examples. You could do neat holders like this. A company called Capital actually makes some really, really nice presentation holders. This particular one right here, you could put together with all mint state coins. All 11 coins will probably set you back at about $100 to $125 by the time you cherry pick for the best ones. But just look at this collection right here in this maroon holder. It is simply incredible, and I don't see any reason why you shouldn't add one of these to your collection. Heck, there was a point in time where I've had probably half a dozen full collections of the Wartime silver nickels, and they are cool. They're cool to have, they're awesome to own, and they're really easy to sell. That's also important. The next coin that we have here, I mean, you kind of guess this one would be on the list. A Carson City silver dollar. And it doesn't matter what date. Now, obviously, the ones that look the nicest that are in mint state condition, you kind of have to pick and choose certain dates that you want if you're looking for affordability. They're not exactly the cheapest coins. As a matter of fact, on this list, this is the most expensive one to obtain if you were looking to add one to your collection. So, what's the kind of hot button with Carson City Morgans? It's real simple. Old West, just Carson City, it's a lot of historical context that goes on with these coins. You can imagine walking into a saloon back in the day, throwing one of these on the counter for a glass of whiskey. These had so much utilitarian use. And, you can imagine like Old West cowboys and Indians and, just the overall, I guess, mood and, just a representation of the Old West. These big, large Carson City dollars are just really awesome. So the more obtainable ones that, if you wanted mid-state, you want them to look nice, 1882 to 1884. And that's most in part because those three dates, 82, 83, and 84 Carson City Morgan dollars, were sitting in bank vaults. The GSA, or Government Services Administration, actually had full bags of these in their bank vaults. And it wasn't until the 1970s where they launched a public sale. And because of that, you were able to buy them in these holders that you see here. Again, most of the more common dates, 82, 83, and 84, even though the mintages fell right in line with all of the other dates that you could, collect, these could have been had a long time ago for like $15. It's that cheap. Today, they're still not that bad. If you chose any one of these three dates and one that grades out, because grading companies can grade these direct in the holders. They don't have to crack open the old GSA holders, so that way they could grade the coins. That's not necessarily. They could just put a sticky band. As you can see, all the coin on the right has that NGC band with the grade on there. Mid-State 63 is about as good as any other raw GSA 82 to 84. And those will typically set you back around $250 to $350, which is like right in the wheelhouse of a comfort, affordable rarity in your collection. And again, we're talking Carson City, so that's the cool part about it. And of course, you can always get into graded coins. And it's kind of like just a glaring contrast of two worlds here. 1879 Carson City on the left is a wildly tougher coin to get in mid-state condition, and one that is quite valuable, into the thousands of dollars. But how about a VF25 graded by Annex that you could obtain for $250? Or if money was no object, go for the gold. 1889 Carson City is the undeniable Carson City key date of the series. This one right here, graded 63 DMPL, which is deep mirror proof-like. It's got a CAC certification on there. That particular one sold a few years ago in excess of $90,000. So you could go as mild or as wild as you want to here. And again, the satisfaction of ownership of any of these coins, again, is through the roof. There's no greater feeling than holding a coin, an old 140-year-old coin that was made at the Carson City Mint. Pretty cool. And, you figure this one would be on the list, right? There's no more unique coin in history than the 1-year type 1943 zinc coated steel cents. Again, for much the same reason as why the Silver War nickels existed, the mint was rationing copper at the time. So in lieu of the copper, they were using a substitute metal in its place. Enter in steel. So they had produced a 1-year type steel cent. Some people call them steelies for short. And it's a 1943 PDNS. So the Philadelphia is the one you see here. They don't have a physical mint mark under the date, which is normally where the placement of the mint mark is. The coins come off very satiny. Most examples will exhibit some of the wild, crazy dye flow lines that people love that will really give off very unique patterns and luster. And, that's like one of the things that I really love about these coins. If you found one that's not all played around with, not plated, people tend to plate these because they do rust very easily if you're not careful. These coins just hit very differently in a collection. Here's the Denver example. As you can see, there's less flow lines on this one compared to the Philadelphia, but it presents as a very kind of matte, satiny finish look to it. Very attractive. And of course, the San Francisco, we have all three mints represented here. Again, a very nice one here. This one shows a little bit more glossy with very nice luster that is quite above average. The cool news with all three of these coins is they are very affordable if you're looking for, just like a Mint State Trio short set. You could spend somewhere in like the $10 to $25 range for each coin. All depending on how clean the coin is, because sometimes you'll get that little errant spot on there, a little white spot to show some progressed oxidation on the coin. So that's something to be on the lookout for. But all three coins very affordable. Again, you could dip your toes into graded. We have two different ones here, and again, polar ends of the spectrum. As far as value is concerned, 43D you see there on the left-hand side in Mint State 66 is quite honestly about a $40 coin, whereas the coin on the right, the 43D and 68 CAC green certified, that one right there is going to set you back about $3,500. So just in a matter of 2 grade points, we have just a huge gap in value here. So when you go to shop for these, make sure you choose wisely. But I think if you're looking for a coin that's collectible, very attractive, very unique, but you still want some value baked into these, so that way it's going to be easier for you to move when and if you decide to get out of the hobby, probably go with Mint State 67. All right, those particular coins are going to run you somewhere in the $150 to $250 range, but it's like the best compromise for grade. It's if and only if you want to choose graded. But I'm telling you, there is absolutely no substitute for just buying the coins raw, sticking them in a nice presentation album, and these things will pop off the page in a sea of copper cents that you have on that same page. Just look at this here. This kind of like tells that tape of just incredible eye appeal that we all love about the steel cents. And again, these will make a great talking point with friends, family, you name it. They are probably undoubtedly the number one coin that you can build a conversation around because they are that interesting. All right, next one that we have here. I mean, come on now. Adolph Wyman's classic Walking Liberty design. You can either buy a Silver Eagle, which, sure, nothing wrong with that. It's 1 ounce of silver. It's got the same design on the front with Walking Liberty, as it is on the American Silver Eagle. You can't go wrong, right? But I'm telling you, there's just a huge difference here between buying a Silver Eagle and an early Walking Liberty $50 from yesteryear. Check out this 1945 Beautiful mid-state coin right here. This example is not going to set you back a whole lot of money, somewhere in that $40 to $60 range in raw condition. You could buy it raw, you could buy it graded, but overall, this is like one of the kind of like most iconic designs in U.S. coins today. Nothing screams America than the Walking Liberty half dollar. And that's in my humble opinion. No other coin comes close. Not even the Buffalo nickel, the Lincoln cent, none of those. So if you were going to advance your collection, you always have to try and add in a nice, beautiful Walking Liberty half dollar. The good news is the price spectrum is like very wide and deep. It's a huge range. You could choose to spend $25 to $40 on a really nice example of a common date, or you can really go pretty crazy and spend many thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars on some of the key dates. So this particular one right here, again, a really beautiful middle-of-the-road mid-state coin. You could go crazy on graded. Anything prior to, I would say, 1939. 1938D is a huge key date, but also keep in mind, anything prior to 1939 in mid-state condition or AU, man, these things are highly coveted. And again, they just kind of hit differently when you have them in your hand. The 1929D and AU58 that you see there, believe it or not, even though it's about uncirculated, it will run you about $1,000. That is not a cheap coin. The 16S you see there on the right side is another incredibly expensive coin. In 1916, which is the first year of the series, and in 1917, they have the mint-mark placement on the front of the coin under "In God We Trust." In 1917, you have your option of both, either on the reverse or on the obverse of the coin. So, another design kind of detail that a lot of people do like about the Walking Liberty halves, and find it very unique to collect into. And before we go on to the last coin, how about collecting Walking Liberties in both a short set form, where Whitman at one point many years ago had released an album that covers 1941 to 1947 Walking Liberties, and that's with every single mint mark as well. You could put together that set for right around $500 if you wanted all mint state coins, or you could raid your local coin shop's melt bin and fill it all up for melt value, $10, $11 per coin. And again, satisfaction is off the charts. But what's really cool is finding that same 1941 to 47 short set in a Capital Plastics holder, because it is exactly 20 coins. They actually have a Capital Plastics holder that will fit all the coins in every mint mark. And you could go as mild or as wild or crazy on this. And I think just beautiful mint state coins that you see there on that presentation is really going to smack, because Capital makes a black holder and a white holder. The black ones show mint state blast white coins incredibly well, and that's one that me personally I like the look of. And then the last one here, ladies and gents, of course, this one is going to be on the list no matter what. 1909 Lincoln wheat cent. Not just any 1909. This is the one with the VDB initials reverse. The regular 1909, they're fine. They're suitable. If you wanted something that's a little bit more bargain basement, you'll collect those. But the ones to get are the coins with Victor David Brenner's initials on the reverse. A very polarizing add-on for the design element of the coin. Mint employees, or the mint, higher powers that be, thought that adding these big, huge initials on the reverse of the coin was a little bit too, this guy was like full of himself, Victor Brenner. So they said, yeah, we're going to remove that. It's fine that you designed a coin, and, at some point in the near future, it took like 5-6 years before they added the mint mark back onto the coin, or not mint mark, but his initials at the truncation of Lincoln's bust. But the 1909 VDB will go down, hands down, as one of the most widely collected, most iconic coins to collect into for that very reason. First year of the Lincoln set, need I say more? Of course, the one that you do want to buy is the San Francisco minted example. Less than 1 million of these were made. It was made in short supply, and you could collect these in just about every conceivable grade. But at the low end, it's a run you $800 to $1,000 for a very, very not too good example. But you do have one. You have one in your collection. But again, the satisfaction of owning a 1909S VDB Lincoln cent or a 1909 really nice Philadelphia minted VDB example, either one, you can't go too wrong here, guys. And no collection would be complete without at least one or both of these coins. Now, the 1909S, sure, that this is going to be a rather rich coin to obtain if you needed a decent example like an AU or low mid state. It's going to run you a few $1,000s pretty easily. But overall, your best bet, if you're going to get a San Francisco minted VDB, buy one graded. That's going to be your best bet here. And it probably wouldn't hurt to get a Philadelphia one in a graded holder either, because it's just going to be easier to sell in the long run. Again, a tale of two opposite spectrums here. The 1909 VDB at 65 red brown you see there on the right side will run you back about $150 to $200. Okay. And that's a very nice quality example. Full red ones will command a little bit more than that. And they've even gone even higher than that. Mid-state 67s tend to sell for a few $1,000s. The 1909S in mid-state 67 red, I chose the most insane example that has sold here in the last few years. That one sold for $350,000. So it's like buying a house. You could go as crazy as you want to here. If you got more money than you do anything else, shoot for the moon, and you're going to get the ultimate kind of like just the coin riz will be strong if you buy that coin at 67 red. All right, that's going to go ahead and do it for this one. Hopefully you guys enjoy this list, and maybe some of you probably agree with my list. Some of you might want to add a coin, subtract a coin. There's a couple ways that we could mold this list so that way it's everybody's own personal want. And again, these coins very obtainable. And that's why I picked them. Iconic, easy to sell. Everybody wants them all the time. Information provided is for educational use only, of course, not financial advice. I got to throw my fine print in there. Please collect and or grade your coins responsibly. And that's going to go ahead and wrap things up for this one. I want to thank you guys again for tuning in on this video. That was a lot of fun. And, maybe you'll add one of these to your collection to make a huge difference. They're a lot of fun, and so is this hobby. I'd like to say that there is no wrong way to collect into coins. You could choose whatever direction that you want to. I just figure I'd talk about, some of the most popular coins that people have bought over time. Well, that's going to go ahead and do it. You guys take care. Have a great night, and keep on collecting, my friends.